I've spoken before about how climate change is different to a lot of the other dangers we deal with, and how this can lead to us thinking about it in all the wrong ways. But it can also lead to us acting on it in all the wrong ways. And so today I'm going to unpick exactly what makes climate change so different. Right now, unfortunately, a threat is unfolding which gives us a direct comparison: the coronavirus outbreak. This has triggered global alarm, and whenever a crisis like this hits, one particular thing happens to me like clockwork. Oh, sorry. A minute. Hello? Hello, it's your mother. Yes, I know that. So I've started stockpiling food, and the shotgun is by the front door. Shotgun? Mum, don't you think you're overreacting? I mean, you're probably more at risk from seasonal flu. Flu? Okay, that's it. I'm barricading the windows. I mean, overreactions aside, coronavirus is, of course, a serious threat, and it deserves serious attention. The purpose of this video isn't to say climate change deserves more concern. They're so different, I don't even know how you begin to weigh them up against each other. But that's kind of the point. What does make them so different? In terms of the threat itself, and in terms of our response? Well, let's look at the response first. In response to the coronavirus, the world has jumped into action. We've seen restrictions on travel, we've seen factories shutting down, quarantines, and we've seen a huge surge of scientific research on this topic. In other words, we've seen huge, rapid structural changes to try and combat this threat, and that is not the case for climate change. Stopping climate change also requires big structural changes, but when we talk about what needs to be done, we're often met with disbelief, even with anger. This isn't just from members of the public, it's also reflected in politics. We're often told that the necessary steps just aren't realistic.
It's not going to get turned around in 10 years.
I guess the idea of wanting a relatively safe future for people around the world is just silly and naive, right? But why are our responses to these two threats so different? Well, because climate change and coronavirus are completely different. Mom, get out my room. Ugh. Anyway, as I was saying, climate change and coronavirus are completely different. Coronavirus feels immediate. It's here today, and if we don't act on it today, it could cost countless more lives than if we get our acts together tomorrow. Climate change, on the other hand, requires big fundamental changes which will take us years to put into place. And it can feel hard to feel the need to act. I mean, climate change certainly is costing lives today, but the link between a particular death and between our emissions is long and tangled. Yes, of course, for one example, climate change is making certain extreme weather events more likely, raising the risk of death either directly from that extreme event or indirectly through things that extreme event contributes to. But compare that to this statement. Coronavirus has already cost over 1,000 lives. That second statement is so much more direct, and so is our response to it. But there are important lessons we can learn from the story behind coronavirus. Sorry, just 1 minute. Okay. Mom, stop embarrassing me. I am making a video.
Oh, this is Izzy.
Sure, Izzy, yes, I knew that. Yeah, this is Izzy Braithwaite. She's a medical doctor whose expertise is links between the environment and climate change. Hi, Izzy.
I can hear you, but yes, there are parallels between coronavirus and climate change, I think. While coronavirus is an important threat in its own right, it's also a symptom of something much bigger. We've known for decades that we're at risk from pandemic viral illnesses like this, but where's all the effort to try and stop it from happening in the first place? Many countries are poorly prepared to rapidly respond and have underfunded, overstretched health systems. Sure, we jump into action when there's a crisis, but where's all the effort to stop us getting to that point in the first place? Is this starting to sound familiar?
Oh, like we're not acting to stop or adapt to climate change.
Exactly. You see, we jump into action when there's an extreme weather event, for example, but where's all the effort to stop one of the biggest driving forces, climate change? So, in conclusion, when disaster struck...
I actually do the conclusions around here.
Oh, sorry, I just thought...
Well, she was rude. But seriously, in conclusion, this is why when disaster strikes, whether that's a virus or a heat wave, we need to ask ourselves the tough questions. Yes, we need to act quickly in the heat of the moment, but we also need to take a step back and ask how we got to this point and what we can do to protect ourselves in the future. Because right now, our strategy for climate change is just to pour more fuel on the fire. Thanks a lot for watching. This video took me a lot longer than it should have because I have kept messing up my lines, but if that's the kind of thing that you enjoy, then you can head over to my Patreon to watch all my mess ups in action. Until next time, bye. I kept messing my lines. Oh my god.